Nocturne. The Orianna pulled away. I like that. You don't want to give up Nocturne Orianna and just get comboed on. But unfortunately, immobile Orianna does feel sometimes like a little bit of fodder to the Nocturne if there's another mid laner taken with setup, so the Nocturne can kind of just ult in there. The Kindred grabbed, pretty similar to Graves, a little bit higher priority, I'd say. It has more utility to protect people should that Nocturne go flying in and you're in position to do something about it.
Also in a composition, you're more likely to be around where Meteos is, so kind of denies the fact that you're going to kill everybody's vision. You're standing arm to arm with that guy looking for Lamb's Respite. See Galio possibly locked in here for a Blaze Olive. I mean, you have the Nocturne already, you dive her in, but
there we go.
They're gonna lock it in.
And this is kind of what I was saying. Another mid laner with setup works just fine. Galio can go for a flash taunt, knock up.
More follow-up, there it is.
Then during that time, Nocturne's going in, and then they still combo together well out of laning phase as well. Galio, if they don't want to go for the kills on the Orianna, she's taking cleanse or whatever it is, go up to the top side, ult up there with the Nocturne. Late game, Nocturne goes in, you ult on top. It's very, very powerful.
I like the pick as well, Galio. It's not a super counter to Kindred, but I feel like getting on her, instant taunt, can't throw down the ultimate. It definitely, that AoE has more of a chance to just stop that, counter her ult. We see Braum, yeah, that is locked in. 12 seconds now in the ban phase. Number 2, what do they want to deny? You already have a jungler, you might want to hit the top. Possibly hit Mr. Raleigh, who's a big focus, and it's actually going to be top side.
Yeah, it's one of those ban phases where because you guys are matched in the first phase, the second will have a lot of kind of not quite priority bans, like, oh, Nocturne plus Camille plus Galio is a really disgusting dive comp, and even though we don't really think you're going to play Camille, let's just ban that one away. So it's not a power pick, really. You're just getting rid of things that seem scary that you know for sure you're not taking.
Moon does a good ban overall. We see one more from FlyQuest Academy. Could be at that support. No, actually, there's Pyke. So they could get a support themselves. They have Braum. So still looking at that top side.
Yep, top and ADs. Doesn't feel like we'll see many marksman bans here. Get the Kennen on the ban on the top side. I feel like they don't want to get snowballed on up there, so they're banning away some of those carries. There's still things like the Gnar and the GP and different things.
Get the Yorick out.
I would love to see more of that stuff. It looked great when Doklo was playing some of those carries.
Yorick is so annoying. You just heal basically everything, especially what's going to be on the board. You're going to out-heal one. Gangplank's there. You'll out-heal him even with oranges. Gnar is going to be locked in or for the ban. And now it's FlyQuest Academy to pick. That was a long second ban phase.
I do like the the Gnar ban because this potentially sets up a GP. TSM, with the way that their comp works right now, if the enemy team takes a GP, you have great tools to punish it early on. And if you take the GP, you have great tools to protect it. So that makes it kind of imbalance of a draft in that favor where you have the tools to deal with the GP very well. I expect them to go with it here with the Gnar ban as well. That's kind of telegraphing one of the counter picks that they were concerned about. And then FlyQuest will have that last pick to deal with it. Also, the Marksman's left available. Varus banned out. They grabbed the Ashe, which we saw perform very well. Looks like they'll run the Vladimir in the bot lane. The Vladimir Pyke kill lane at 6 is very powerful.
I agree with that GP as well. Just having the AoE wherever Nocturne and Galio are going would be huge.
And helps find kills in the bot lane if you start going for that, actually.
Yeah, on the kill lane now of Vlad Pyke.
Yeah.
See, Mr. Raleigh is somebody who didn't kind of venture into anything other than 80 carries for a long time. And only recently, in the past maybe 4 weeks, I can't recall perfectly, he did switch off bot lane marksman to these champions like Vladimir.
Yeah, start playing more of the Swain, the Vlad.
Yeah, Swain like I think was one of the first.
And I think that's great because, you know,
gotta match the meta.
You gotta match the meta. I think based off what we've heard and seen some of the design discussions, they definitely want to keep the bot lane meta more open. And so if you were concerned, you know, it does feel like marksmen are on their way back, and so you don't want to give up playing marksman. But moving into season 9, you know, you definitely probably want to branch out a little bit from where you're at right now.
I can't wait for Worlds at this point because you still have like LPL and OF. They feel like they can just like marksman all the time. What is this bot lane mage stuff? It's marksman. And they have a few, obviously, they do like Kled's mid and whatnot for going
beat. The Dinger yet. Wait till they meet the Donger.
Can't wait. We're in this game though, TSM Academy versus FlyQuest, as both teams really on that cusp of playoffs, getting a little bit higher. FlyQuest really looking to get, or I should say TSM looking to catch up to FlyQuest here as all teams are locked in. We do get that GP up against a Rumble. Little throwback for the top lane.
It's going to be a pretty volatile matchup just with how much global pressure exists on the map with the Nocturne and the Galio being able to go up there. Bot lane's also going to have a lot of pressure at 6 for TSM. So FlyQuest feel like they're going to be a little bit on the back foot early on, trying to survive. Maybe not the first 5 levels, they'll have pressure in some of their lanes, but post 6, they're going to have a really tough time seeing where all these globals are going to go, trying to defend from the all-ins of the Vladimir Pike. And if they can get through that and outscale, they have a great team fight team comp. It's just about getting there.
I was like, do I hear Christmas bells? I do. Brahms ready to bring in presents. We are on to the Rift for TSM versus FlyQuest. And with a win here, FlyQuest could look to lock themselves in that playoff spot. That bye is still open for the top of the table, though. It'd be very hard for them to reach it, but just overall in the playoff status of things, FlyQuest could look for that lock in here with a win. You see TSM on the blue to start, FlyQuest on the red for this one. And blue has had, over the last few days, pretty good wins.
Yeah.
Enjoying that first pick priority very well.
We're talking about how on 8-13 there was kind of that perma Nocturne Zoe Ayo. Oh, I was getting into that. But you had the kind of perma bans of Nocturne, Aatrox, Zoe, whatever it was, and it made it so blue side could get whatever they wanted. Here, they're still the Aatrox ban, but they leave the Nocturne up. Still, like you said, blue side has a great win rate on this patch, at least in North America.
Absolutely. Where's the movement? No fun invades on this one. Looks like they're just going to keep it safe, keep it towards the jungle camp for now. Easy clear for both as you have rapid clears in Nocturne and Kindred. But I'm going to see where they meet up first. They are starting opposite sides, so they shouldn't match Scuttles. But
Oh. Meteos is like, did they see me fail that?
Did anybody see me?
Yeah.
I love the initial
We saw
sweeper.
you, Meteos.
He's got to clear it.
Sweeper doesn't block spectator vision.
Oh, boy. That was fantastic. So they know the clear is up there now, so they will meet. This is actually something that shouldn't have happened, as both junglers would have been on opposite sides with their initial start.
Dodged out on
Level
the,
2 fear comes in. They back off for a bit of safety on this one. So with red buffs galore, they back off. Interesting start.
On the Q damage, and they're still scrapping.
He knows.
Oh, Ward, watch the face check.
Ah! One to the other, over the wall this time. He got it. Oh, the flash follows. That's going to be a lot of damage coming in from Mike Young. Those are the last abilities he has. Red buff is on. A few more hits. 400 straight gold for Mike Young as he solos Meteos in the jungle. Flash for flash on the junglers.
Really tough play by Meteos there, trying to get some vision control down. Doesn't have any trinket wards. He has the sweeper. Is on cooldown.
Yeah.
Just face checks Mike Young. And the thing about Nocturne, he's actually a fantastic duelist at level 2 if you're able to get in range. Here you see the Q is...
The mounting dreads out.
Yeah, the Q is dodged out of by Meteos. Really nice hop to make sure he's able to kind of get the pressure early on. But then this is just a little bit too aggressive. You know, Mike Young is able to wrap back around. And then Meteos wants to try and find him on the Gromp, actually bumps into him right here. He hops the wall, but Mike Young knows he's good. Once he gets the fear down, that means it's a guaranteed Q. And even though Meteos can flash away, you already have that kind of speed up movement from the Q landing, and you're able to chase him down. And that's the thing about it. If you get that fear tether off, you know, Nocturne with lethal tempo will basically outduel anyone.
Absolutely crazy. Action all around the map to start as we see a little bit of health off of Shady. No real CS lead there as it's relics for both sides. They should be able to get their stacks nice and easy. 21-16. The Blaze Olive returning to lane. He'll have those minions to clean up, so no real lead there. But Predator Vlad, as we see some switches on that. Looks like they'll get a stun here on concussive blows. Great damage following through. 20% of his health for that pool to go down, so saves himself, but it stings a little bit.
Yeah, nice trade early on by FlyQuest. Predator Vladimir makes some sense. He'll be trying to follow up on the engage probably of other people versus finding his own flank. Gonna help get in there with the rest of the team. Mike Young is hunting.
And this is Mike Young in the beginning when he had eyes on at the start of the season. Said, I want to go back to the early jungler that I started as. Being aggressive, making decisions, and not feeling kind of reserved about any of those. And it seems like that's what he got out of his Nidalee. That's what he got out of playing Kha'Zix. And then it kind of fell off when he reserved his play. And now he's back to making those decisions, it seems, again.
Yeah, took that early skirmish versus Meteos. Now he's getting some counter jungling in. Wanted to find him, I think, for another trade, but Meteos had backed off early on. Got his upgrade, so he's a little bit stronger potentially if they do fight.
Ouch. Holy moly, no.
And No is getting real aggro up on the top side.
That's great control of the Flame Spitter up on the turret to not take any damage. They may call a little bit of love. Mike Young says, yeah, I'll add some pressure top, or at least be here if he's going to try to go any harder.
And, Mike Young is kind of getting stalled out a little bit on his path. You saw Peckenwolf go in there and interrupt his recall. Hasn't had a chance to shop yet on the Gromp. Still up, thankfully, but Piecake Lord is kind of pushing freely, and there's no punish coming in from Mike Young, who is pre-6 with no flash, so No wants to keep getting aggro.
Ooh. A ward recently placed there, keeping Piecake Lord quite safe, but how long does he stay? Half health, we've seen this before. And it looks like Meteos actually not going to try without an idea of where Mike Young could be. That could have been his ward, respectively, that he just cleared.
It's one of those things where it's fine to hover for a little bit, see if he does miss position and then go in, but with Piecake Lord backing out, you don't want to hover around long enough for Mike Young to collapse. Mike Young was making his way up there, so a good decision to call that one off by FlyQuest. Meteos found one little chicken left. Pretty upset about that. Making his way back down for the next Scuttle Crab, and everyone feels like they're converging on that mini objective right now.
Ooh. The thing that feels so good about Pike is you can kind of go anywhere and know you have a quick out. Already Shady just walking through, but they're going to get a teleport in from No. Level 6 there for him. Piecake Lord is 5, so they can't even answer with Cannon Barrage. What a move by FlyQuest to pull the trigger. Can they get the follow-up damage? One harpoon hits. The second one's going to be free, and he holds it for the long time. There's the engage. The entrance comes in, but it's too late. From a Blaze Olive, he joins the party too late. Forced to walk out of that, and FlyQuest activate on their first kill.
That was crazy aggro play by FlyQuest Academy. It felt like they were TPing in just to get Meteos the mark on that Scuttle Crab.
Yeah.
For a second, seemed like an overextension, but then No lands a really nice ultimate onto Mike Young, who still had no flash, and then they could chase him down. Felt a little indecisive, but they're able to find that kill. He's going to go back up to lane with that, buy some more items, had his pen boots completed already, and No is off to the races.
See this again. The teleport comes in. They're going to be like, he'll stop that. It's not real. Oh, it's real. He's here.
Yeah, and then Mike Young, once he gets tagged, you see a nice equalizer drop him down below half, no way out. And so he's able to flash follow up. He saw the spell shield was out too, so he knows the harpoon's going to land. Gets the next one. This ultimate is probably a little late there. Wanted to see if he actually needed to use it, which stalled it out long enough for them to actually get the chase down and kill.
Nice heal lock up there. I do like the combo of what Aerie and Quan are doing. I was like, Aerie running barrier, that's not really going to help you against Pike's ultimate if you're going to die. But Quan has the heal, or did have the heal. He just changed it out. Can get that in there and keep Aerie alive. But you don't see barrier too often.
Yeah, it's a good point to make sure that you barrier early in the combo. When they start going on you at 6, don't save it for the ultimate by Pike. If people don't know, if you're below a certain HP value, it executes you regardless of shielding or anything else that's on top of you. So got to make sure you negate the Vlad damage so the Pike can't actually even get to that point to execute you.
This Rumble skin is badass. I actually didn't realize he was on tracks for the first time.
Yeah, it's a different, I like it, you know?
Heck
Looks more like a battle bot than a floating mech thing. Stomping around.
I like it. That's good. See mid, sorry, red getting taken out. By mid, if you will. It's close to the region. Meteos taking down his Krugs. This is a bot lane. Life is slowing down a little bit. Junglers are hovering around towards top. So we got a Mountain Drake up that actually hasn't grabbed any love. I thought FlyQuest maybe on that teleport down would also have no help with Dragon, but they have backed out during that time. That feels bad, man. Placed and taken out right in front.
Man, not much you could do to defend that one.
No.
And like you said, despite the low kill count in the game, it's actually been pretty active, and teams haven't had a chance to really go for that Mountain Drake. A lot of skirmishing up on the top side early on that killed Meteos, then some more skirmishing over the next Scuttle Crab. Now there's a skirmish over a blue buff.
A lot of that action. Meteos has a Blaze. Oh, he'd be pinched in by both sides. The Blaze says, I cannot come in just yet. Actually, he just wanted to clear the wave. And a little early from the command ball coming in from Peckenwolf. Flashes the shockwave. They still get a little bit of what they wanted out of a Blaze Olive. His ultimate's not up to help this blue fight.
No.
And now the fight, what a equalizer. Piecake Lord forced into the corner. 2 flashes just from one ultimate. FlyQuest really coming out big on this one. And they're going to be able to get the pull on the blue buff. A quick spike, or Pike Bone Spear coming in does not do too much. My tongue gets twisted for that entire fight. 800 gold lead for FlyQuest. And they kind of just keep peppering TSM to give them something to think about.
Yeah, and we were talking about start of this game, how it doesn't feel like there was a primary carry threat to replace Keen this split, but No is having a fantastic game, getting a CS lead for himself, making that TP play for the kill back, and then they're basically 2v1ing the enemy top laner and jungler on the blue buff to keep them off of it, almost getting a kill, forced up 2 flashes out, and then helped Meteos secure the blue buff for himself. So No is having a monster performance this game.
Absolutely. Teleport's almost up. His calls for teleport, or even his instinct to get around the map, has been great to be with the team. FlyQuest has had control everywhere. Still a very small gold lead. Like Mark said, not seeing many of these kills come through. The map pressure is becoming in favor of FlyQuest, so they might be able to do something with the vision they have. Just looking at that gold, 500 of in the hands of Peckinwolf there as he's getting his rotations, 400 in the hands of No as he is becoming that carry. In the bot lane, a lot of even between those two as they actually are resetting on a perfectly even lane just on the mini-map.
And it'd be really nice for TSM if their bot lane could start finding some momentum here. There's so much focus on the top side, so much playing around No, who is starting to get out of control now with his second pen item completed, that if TSM can't find other places on the map to pressure, Meteos will just kind of keep going top, and No will slowly eke out more advantages for his team. Like you said, not a huge gold lead right now, but with the Rift Herald down, you know Meteos is going to be looking for a place to use that. Top side looking pretty good right now, potentially to use it there.
Orb finish for No, Spellbinder finish for Raleigh, so we got a few core items on each side. Executioner's calling for Airy already, actually, so he can start peppering Raleigh with a bit of reduction on that lifesteal.
Interesting to go for that, I would
real
say.
Quick, it's expensive early.
Yeah, it's expensive early, really slows down your Blade of the Rune King power spike, and you're not trying to kill the Vladimir, so cutting through his sustain feels pretty unimportant, I guess I would say. Like, if you can get your own sustain so you can avoid getting all in by completing your Blade of the Rune King, I would argue that that's more valuable, and then you can go, after you complete your first big item, into the Executioner's Calling, because it's not like, regardless of if you get that, Pyke's still going to sustain up.
I was going to say, you score some value for Pyke kind of thing as well.
Yeah, Pyke and Vlad, like, it is effective against them. I just don't think it's worth delaying your first item power spike. That's a point for another time as FlyQuest look at top.
Over the wall, mounting Dread. The Q is on
God.
As they sick it to Pie Cake Lord. Nice and quick on the top side. TSM now says we have to activate bot side. Quan is taking a defensive position, and he says, I will stay to your left. We need to get out, though. As Rift Herald is being summoned on the top side. That means you're going to have to see some fast play from TSM and decisions of what to do after this first turret.
Don't think they're going to be able to match this push.
No way.
FlyQuest will be able to grab first turret in the game, expand their gold lead.
Well, they're going to come back, though. They say we need a lot of pressure on this, but second tier is also going to get hit. Rumble clears pretty quick. No can get on that turret with Meteos in quite a quick amount of time, and Rift Herald's going to keep going. It will be Pie Cake Lord to come through and help, but I think they have 2 turrets on this push.
Yeah, that Rift Herald objective, being able to trade up. Not only do they find the kill for 1 turret, they find 2 turrets for themselves. Great play out of FlyQuest here. Once again, playing around No, and this is why I was saying, if you don't find any pressure down the bot lane, FlyQuest will have no reason to ever stop going top.
This is one of the things, too, is not that Galio is bad at all, but falling behind is you don't have a chance to ult to every lane. Nobody's in position for you to get there and ult. It all becomes safety, so that map control almost gets snuffed out a little bit. Airy with the vision and the arrows means they can start initiating everywhere.
Yeah, and same with Mike Young. Hasn't seen an ultimate yet, so despite the...
That's so true.
Ooh. Well, a little dangerous. But despite that great early game, finding that first blood, didn't actually get much of a tempo advantage because he was on the map for quite a while. And after that, Meteos got the level advantage and was able to go for an invade where he was 6. And with No, ever since then, they've just been completely controlling the top side of the map.
Interesting buy. Opinion on No getting madness already from Haunting Guys.
So this is an interesting thing that kind of developed with Rumble, because previously, the 2 things that made him so ridiculous on such a cheap item power spike was that Leandries back in the day gave the flat pen with the Sork Boots, as well as giving you the percent health damage burn. So if people were building MR, usually those 2 pen items would cut through that early MR that they're building. If they're building HP, you cut through that as well. Nowadays, with the Leandries percent health damage burn and the flat pen getting split up into Oblivion Orb, you still want both very badly, so it is often good to go the Oblivion Orb. You don't need the Grievous Wounds necessarily, so you don't actually go full Morello Nomicon. You get the flat pen, and then you go for the Leandries for the burn over time.
Awesome. Cool to see the builds evolving. It's good to see it back as well. You always saw, you know, there'd be a dragon fight for the Rumble team whenever he had Sork Boots and Haunting Guide.
Oh yeah, that was, it was like, I'm 6, double pen items, let's go.
Objective's over. So it's awesome to see that in the build very early again, especially for Rumble players. Always a feel good. There's the first ultimate coming in from Nocturne. Who's terrified? Who's paranoid? Equalizer comes in. Bone Skewer back. No is still ready to be in the fight, and he is low, but he's trying to stay out of Cannon Barrage. Nice Lamb's Respite goes down. Remember, we still got a few stopwatches to go down the fight. Quan's low. No's low as well, and they finally go down as Meteos gets pushed out. And this is the fight that TSM needed. I said they couldn't get around with the ultimate from a Blaze Olive unless the fight was in one place. And that's what TSM was able to do, make it on their terms, taking a quick advantage there.
Nice kills found by TSM. They get 2 of them, and they're going to be able to continue pushing afterwards. Pekka was not involved in that. He's just down the bot lane split pushing, so unfortunately not able to find more than that, but a really nice fight by TSM that FlyQuest also kind of mis-executed on. Some of their abilities were not 100% in the right place. Luckily, they will still find some gold down there.
Good move by Peckinwolf. He will, or Wolf. I say Wolf, I always say it.
So here you see for a long time, he's trying to bait this. He could have dropped his ultimate right away. It was available, but he wants to cut off the escape path once he pulls them into the river. It's an intelligent idea, and Meteos and him are communicating that we want to fight here, but Airy does not go into the pit. He tries to flash away, which splits him away from the Kindred mark and allows Mr. Rawless to split the fight and go straight onto the back line. It would have been a dangerous fight even if they did go into the pit and try and work with the Kindred. It looked like it might have just been a lost fight 5v4 no matter what. So hard to say exactly what FlyQuest should have done there, but either way, Mr. Rawless finding a free angle onto the enemy's AD carry who did not have the Kindred protection meant that it was almost a lost fight right away, and some cute ideas out of FlyQuest that just didn't come together.
I feel like there's always a deja vu moment for, you know, either the TSM LCS team and the TSM Academy team, is if even if they're behind, that 5v5 objective fight is something they can always find an opening in, the window of opportunity to get back in the game. And their first 5v5, FlyQuest kind of bought into after seeing the Nocturnal in favor of TSM. 3-2, still down though. TSM looking at about 1,000 gold deficit as they start to clean up their own jungle and try to deal with the vision FlyQuest has been able to encroach forward.
And this is an interesting team comp for both teams to kind of fight for because FlyQuest have a pretty clear target for TSM to go on. They want to kill Airy or Peckinwolf right away with all their flanking and engage. For FlyQuest, they don't really have the clear target that they want to hop on. They actually kind of want to kite back and deal with all this, so from ahead it makes their fighting a little weird. They can find pickoffs in the side lane, though. That's much easier to deal with.
Pancake Lord is marked. This would be a huge kill for Meteos. He's going to be locked down. No takes that one for himself. Kill secure.
Up to 3 kills, or 3 marks, excuse me, for Meteos. He's getting close to finding that 4th one. As Pancake Lord continues to kind of get bullied here. Just feels like the Galio is never in range to really turn those, and that's one of the big things about this comp is they picked the GP like I was expecting in the draft because it should have been protected by this Nocturne and Galio, but the lack of pressure out of them means it's very hard for this GP to ever push out.
Shady putting his goggles on as he swims through mid. Some good vision wards across the map for FlyQuest, gives him sight of just about both parts of that jungle. On the blue side of Teach. Juan not in a great spot. 4v1 for him. Pooled out of command. Shockwave. Rollins tries to keep himself alive. Airy almost takes him down. As the balls move forward, Peckinwolf picks himself up a kill in retribution for Quan's death. In comes a Blaze Olive to Terrify onto Peckinwolf, and Shady brings him down to the depths. Pancake Lord taking an ill-advised route through the jungle, loses about 10% HP, and FlyQuest is now pushing TSM way back out of the jungle as they try to go kill for kill. A 2-for-1. In favor of TSM.
And Pike was able to grab both of those, so that means he's able to get those 2-for-1s in a sense where his execute contributes the gold over. And a nice pickoff onto Quan. Nice setup by Shady again, whose 2nd day in a row he's playing Pike. Nice QE backwards to set Quan up. Peckinwolf does a good job kind of focusing down Mr. Rawlins, but it feels like they get a little over-eager for chasing forward. Has to go all the way forward to get that kill. And instead of going full retreat mode right away, kind of walk down and then back up, which allowed Mike Young to get vision of him to get that ultimate, and then That gives the second kill for Shady. They want to get Pie Cake Lord. They get his flash, which is nice. So that's still a kill advantage for TSM in another skirmish.
It's so good too, and look what's happening to the gold, going up with all that plunder from Shady's assist. Also going to that, or I should say kills going to his assist.
Yeah, and he's able to be, 700 gold up on Quan from those kills. And then the rest of his team is actually not down any gold because he's able to share that, which is always the concern when your support has kills.
A feel bad moment. Feels real good, man. Tekken Wolf, Meteos, and Quan there. All 5 members mid as Raleigh's actually starting to push the side wave. So different variety for him, from going from those bot lane marksmen to now throwing in the Swain, throwing in the Vlad, and transitioning into this play style quite nicely, knowing now he has to yo-yo the pressure back and forth. Mid still seems to be the focus for FlyQuest, as they should take it down, being 100 HP from going. And now everything seems to sort itself out. A bit of gold picked up there, and the gold basically even.
Bit of a dangerous push for FlyQuest there. They knew Mr. Raleigh was not there, but Mike Young can always pull the trigger himself. Ablaze Olive's ult was not available, which is probably why TSM didn't really want to go in there. But you have to be careful with sieging up against TSM's comp, because they have a lot of ways to start the fight.
Bada boom. That will feel great. Ocean Drakes, ahoy. Quan, she's like, look at my shield, guys. It's nice, right? He has to step out of that one quick. Good thing shield gives you a bit of extra movement speed to get to safety. And FlyQuest, so close to locking down a playoff spot with a victory here. And TSM is saying, not really, we want to knock you down. We want to move ourselves up. We have some wins to make to lock down our own playoff spot.
Yeah, but these are the kind of games you want to see when teams are fighting for playoff position. Yeah. You want to see 2 close matches to say, I really earned this one. If FlyQuest is able to find the win here,
it does feel good.
There's no doubt that they should be in playoffs. And same with TSM, if they're able to claw their way up to the standings, you know that they really went tooth and nail to get that spot.
Roaming from Shady. I love the Pike plays and Pike players. They always seem to have a little bit more aggression in them that comes out in these games. With the vision, look what they've set up. Why not? How can you not be aggressive at this point? Ping to the top side, you can tell that Shady.
That Ori.
He says, let's go, boys. The ball in the brush for a little bit of vision. He pulls it just as he comes over the wall, but I think he knew at the last moment. Touch and go here as we start around the Baron objective.
Yeah, there was FlyQuest Academy also had a bit of a read on that play. You saw Peckinwolf sending his ball around. They're going mid instead.
Very close. Zanyas immediately tries to deny it, but he actually sets him up for a perfect entrance from a Blaze Olive's knockup. Quan now forced to run, and I think Ari just learned to not Zanyas that play anymore.
Neat idea to go for the Zanyas, just slightly mistimed a little early. I think he might have been able to wait a half-second later before the tether on the fear broke, and then he could maybe Zanyas it. But either way, just great play by TSM, feigning to the top side, pulling FlyQuest up there to try and cover that play. And then as they rotated back mid, you go for the cutoff. So TSM really pulling FlyQuest apart, finding the pickoffs.
Bottom lane push, janitorial duty for No to get down there. Big damage, mounting Dread, slowing Shady a little bit as well. For some more follow-up is Meteos starting to come online just a little bit in his confidence. 1-1-1 keeps him pretty stacked up during the game. Mike Young at 2-1-3. They have been going back and forth trying to get their team advantages this game.
Yep, Mike Young started off with a really nice level 2 kill. Meteos answered back with some smart pathing to control up around the top side and set No up for some big plays. But since then, and the map has started opening up, TSM's comp with all the extra globals have once again been finding the favorable fights. About where does it go from here? Super close game. And I gotta say, Shady's Pike, I've been watching it pretty closely, and I haven't seen enough of the Pike QE animation canceling to know if he's getting a couple of these or not. Uh-oh, as I sing his praises.
Ooh, man, down to half, gonna be dodged. Nice sidestep by Blaze Olive. Justice Punch is not matched by anybody of Peckinwolf or Meteos, so he gets out clean. But yeah, kind of seeing how they hold it, how far they're going to be pulled back, like the full extension to E to half extension on Pike Bone Skewers is very interesting.
Yeah, I was watching Afromu one night on a stream, try and figure out how to do those animation cancels. They're very inconsistent, so I need to watch closer if Shady's actually getting these. As a Blaze Olive taking the front line.
Onto a Blaze Olive, taunt out immediately, and he actually takes half health. They were going to shockwave only a Blaze Olive. FlyQuest really ready to pull the trigger here, and it might cost him a bit.
I like the idea, though. They knew they chunked Shady out. They just want to find one kill so they can start potentially threatening on the Baron. And a Blaze Olive is the biggest threat, you could say, maybe Pie Lord, for when you're stacked up in a Baron pit. So if they found that kill, that's one of their main frontline tools. Actually, they have Mr. Olives as well. I take that back. TSM has a lot of people you want to be scared of if you're trapped in a pit.
Rabadon's as well, the Lucidity boots to keep spitting out damage from Mr. Rales as well. I like that cooldown purchase from him. See, Predator was recently used in these fights as things are starting to spice up 25 minutes in. And both teams keeping it close. About 1,000 gold lead now for TSM. Those Ocean Drake grabbed by FlyQuest and a Mountain Drake so far grabbed by TSM Academy.
Both teams reset after a bit of a touch-and-go skirmish.
Good gold for Rales to spend.
Yeah, Mr. Rales, see what he gets with that. Already has his death cap. You think it might be a Zhonya's he starts working towards, but maybe he just wants the one shot.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Stopwatch and actually the guard can come in with that purchase, so quite a bit of money for him. It's 11 and 600. He also gets a few vision wards for his team. I like it.
What a team player.
I like it. It's not something you see as a support a lot. Puts a grin on my face every time. Coming now towards the top side. FlyQuest saying aggression with vision is the only way we can do this. And it could be a pressure in from the side. Nice vision ward, picks up Quan, so that means the rest of the team is probably close as TSM move as a unit, kind of walling up the protection for Piecake Lord on the bot side here, and it's going to be the long way around. Now that these turrets are going down and the vision is pushed forward for FlyQuest to start recuperating and answering, and now that long time is actually costing them a bit of these structures.
Yeah, I mean, TSM was able to get some blue vision trinkets into the pit, so they knew FlyQuest was not actually on the Baron, and they could hover to the right side of the mid lane a little bit more and avoid any potential Ash arrows. Now they have their own chance to go.
One grab in, Raleigh hits it hard with the Hemo Plague and the Tides of Blood. Watch the damage come through as the Blood Mage strips FlyQuest of their health bars. Quan tries to flash in and get the Glacial Fissure, but costs himself his life. Trying for that last-minute play that could just kind of defend it, but actually might hurt a little bit more. No minions in the mid lane means TSM has to wait a bit, but they're not going to wait long. A Blaze Olive still very healthy. Raleigh can make his way into the fight. Meteos looking for a possible flank with Lamb's Respite down, or to take down Mike Young. The 1v1 comes through. Mike Young flashes into the brush to try to deny vision. It's actually covered by the pink ward as the Blaze Olive just a little bit wait due to the charge up time on the ultimate. But this is a fight on all fronts, never ending. Peckinwolf with the Ignite on. No possible follow-up coming in from the rest of TSM as Piecake Lord gets under turret for damage. The Winds of War separating the side defense of the turret as almost going down just about 100 HP on this turret. It looks like TSM finally have to back off. What a fight these guys are going to no end.
Yeah, making you earn your money here,
Holy
Riv. A long fight that starts with a split, which is good for TSM. They want these fights split up. They can stop Kindred ult from protecting an entire team from the dive that TSM have. Nice stopwatch by Meteos, keeps him alive. Baits Mike Young in, but then Quan is just not ready for the damage over the wall that happened. And from here, it looks like a good fight. Meteos is actually able to lifesteal a fair amount off this camp, so Mike Young going for the Scuttle Crab while his team sieges. That gets dissuaded by the ultimate from Ori, and then Meteos wraps back around to get onto Mike Young, and this redirects the team down to the river. Blaze Olive forced to ult. Doesn't actually do anything, and with those cooldowns down, no more Galio ult, makes it so the siege is hard around mid lane. FlyQuest are able to protect that turret, but just barely.
You can see just how crazy that fight got. You have 4 blown stopwatches kind of across the board. One picked up. Mr. Raleigh's didn't have to use his we saw recently, and Peckinwolf still has his to be used in an intense moment. Rinse and repeat, back down to the bottom lane for Piecake Lord. Gotta love a guy that just knows to keep the pressure on. It's gotta just make FlyQuest pull their hair out at this point that TSM can take these 4-man fights and result it in Piecake Lord still being there.
Yeah, and TSM are doing a great job using their blue trinkets to scout out these potential Baron baits that happen, buying time for Piecake Lord to keep split pushing, and the GP does become a formidable split pusher, and he has TP to collapse now. It's kind of making FlyQuest just decide to go, but like we said, that's difficult versus TSM's comp.
Baron on the horizon. What a grab on the stand as Quan tries to get back to defense. Stand beside me is stopped, is what I meant to say. And now it's just going to be Piecake Lord pushing on the bot side. FlyQuest trying to make a decision that could push them into playoffs, but it might cost them a bit of that time. Very nearsighted now for No. He can't get the damage onto Mike Young or find out where he went. They finally dropped the Kindred to Blaze Olive, a little too close, but the base is being torn apart by Piecake Lord. TSM are happy to go down if it buys him more time inside the base. Minions are going to be coming out as he starts to clear them. Raleigh is now one of the last ones standing with Meteos as they try to play the stop-the-back game. And it is going to be Raleigh's possibly going down. Meteos gives him the Lamb's Respite, and he does not win with a Crimson Rush out of that one. Shady is dipping in and out of the river to keep himself alive, but a hell of a lot of damage done to FlyQuest base in the overall war.
It was a really nice job by TSM, but I think they went way too hard there. You already have
kept going, yeah.
Yeah, PCL, Piecake Lord already took the bot lane turret and inhibitor. You don't need to int into them from then on. You can just back off, let them reset and not try and end the game, and then you can use the bot lane turret pressure for this Baron. Because they lost so many people, now FlyQuest can potentially grab it themselves.
Cannon Barrage not up. Nocturne Paranoia not up to get in and terrify the team. Huge damage as Noah's overheated. He's just being a sentry of HP, but he's denying Piecake Lord and Shady quick entry without damage into that Baron pit. Airy looking to be in a sore spot here. He gets skewered back, and I think he's going to be brought down to the depths. Meteos going in strong to try and protect Airy. He had the barrier to keep himself alive, but does go down. Mike Young burning. Mike Young stays alive in the end as they get in. Baron still to FlyQuest, and it puts a huge pause button on the lead TSM had.
Jeez. These fights, man.
Hell yeah.
Both teams, you can see, really want to get into playoffs. All of them so touch and go. TSM, they had the great play to force them off Baron here. Oh, this is after they inhibitor already. And this is just, No, maybe could have played it a little slower. He doesn't want any big barrel combos to blow up Ares, so he's playing extra aggressive to make sure Piecake Lord cannot get that combo into the pit.
He's not even autoing.
Yeah, he's just trying to distract them. It works.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Area has no flash, but because it's only Shady and Piecake Lord, they actually don't have that much threat with the Orianna throwing shields over the wall. Meteos willing to hop in there as well. Shady actually eats the arrow, which gets him killed right away, and they almost trade back on the Mike Young. Is not quite able to do so. And with that, they do have the Baron buff. We'll see if FlyQuest can use this to actually take some turrets, because that's really what they need right now to start stabilizing this map pressure. Because if they don't get anything off this Baron, Piecake Lord can kind of run that play again, where they keep him in a side lane to split push, and they don't have anyone that can answer him in the 1v1, so they got to use the 5v5.
Where to go, what to do. Piecake Lord back to business towards the top side as he cleans up and forces minions in. Shady says, hello, I'm in, I'm out. He's just being a distraction at this point. Great job by the Pike to get wards in, but get out as his wards are cleared. No, cleaning up on the bot side as he can teleport over if necessary, but the map real short on the backside towards home turf for FlyQuest, so they can go easily from lane to lane, but so can TSM now.
Yeah, and this is definitely not what you want to see, like I was saying, with this Baron buff. They want to be able to trade back for some turrets, but they just don't quite have the people to match not only the potential split push from Piecake Lord, but the potential collapse as well. So TSM can easily move from mid lane up to him, so they want to kind of trade minion waves against him and not actually just have him sieging in front of them, but that's not how you win the game, really. So yeah, it feels really difficult for FlyQuest at this point, and they're going to kind of need to rely on Airy getting some more items, only at 2.5 compared to the 3, let's say on Mr. Raleigh, the 3 on a Blaze Olive. He needs to become a legitimate threat.
Oh, wow. Way out in the mid lane, instantly taken down. Ouch. Where's Quan for his AD carry? And that's not even Quan's fault. I'm saying that because with the separation and backing that is pretty lackadaisical in the side of macro for FlyQuest. Very far out in the mid lane without protection. The Baron giving them a little bit of sense of security there that got him caught out.
That's that global pressure that we're talking about.
Yeah.
See, now No is trying to match in the side lane as they try and hold mid lane, but they still have a lot more quote-unquote go buttons. They still have every ultimate available but Mike Young. So FlyQuest find themselves out of position with the 15 seconds left on area. They could get killed.
Quick grab to kind of deny that movement, but also give himself a little separation. And FlyQuest as well, their game against Golden Guardians yesterday, who are playing better, was a bit shaky. So not a good time for FlyQuest to kind of start finding themselves on the back foot coming into playoffs, coming in a spot where this game could lock in that playoff spot alone. As TSM, they seem to want it more today. Airy to clear up bot side. That is a huge wave for himself, but still about 60 CS behind at this point.
So the Baron buff, while not able to be used to advance their own game plan at all, it did at least stop the bot lane pressure from becoming even worse. They lost one Nexus turret, but the inhibitor is back alive. They'll push this one out. You can expect Piecake Lord with the CP down for about another 2-ish minutes to go down there, play it slow until it's back up, and then probably go back into that full-on split push mode. And we'll have to see what FlyQuest can do to answer, because it doesn't feel like they have good options.
Wow, that becomes really strong. Shady just being able to invisibly cut around and ward, make sure those wards are deeper down lane. Almost impossible to continuously clear, so they have knowledge of whether FlyQuest is pushing up, where they're exiting into the jungle. And now they have to use pink wards just to clear these out in mid. You can see that pink ward dies, so they can replace it in the top brush. As they move forward, 75 gold every so often. It's going to get expensive.
Yeah, but I think FlyQuest knows that's what they need to do. They need to clear out all the wards behind them. You can't risk Mr. Raleigh finding a giant flank. And you need to get vision control around this Baron, because you have to stop the split push by forcing him to that Baron buff. Ooh. So they know that's where the action is going to happen. No goes back to stall out just a little bit longer, as Baron is still not up for another 2 minutes. They're not quite ready to execute on the 5-man force around Baron just yet for FlyQuest, but I think that's what they're starting to set up for.
Yeah. Piecake Lord quickly clearing minions on the bot side. He actually giving quite a bit of distance. He says, I'm going back past any of the camps they might want, and I'll push up when I know my team has vision, when I and them can create pressure. That's kind of one of the biggest things, is it has to happen on both fronts. The TSM are patiently allowing that to happen. FlyQuest feel like they have a chance to back here. We'll see if they can get back in time. Airy and Quan with a few last items. Ooh. Piecake Lord looking to get a shot in. Big damage onto Noah as he's going to continue. Trial by fire keeps him burning and a bit slowed. And if they can get those little hits, that means Noah has to go to base. They're kind of playing freeze tag here. If you're hit, you got to be out for a second, and that's how TSM is going to win this one.
And I'm really surprised that TSM didn't want to go harder on that. He already won the trade. And while FlyQuest was making their way down there, TSM do have all those globals, so they easily could have collapsed and just potentially fought down there. And with how much damage was already done to Noah, it did feel like a decent fight to take. Baron wasn't up, so it wasn't like they had to worry about over-committing down to the bot side. And if they win that fight, they basically win the game. Instead, TSM opting to play it a little slower. Don't want to get caught over-engaging, but you got to take some risks at some point.
Absolutely.
Meteos wants to take a risk in the mid lane.
Heck yeah, they don't have too much vision on the rest of the members. Rotation over, Shady gets hit, Arrow misses there as they are really onto the middle of the fight, and they are trying to get away as Peckinwolf low, resurrecting on the other side of the fight. Gonna come back up is Mike Young as left and right. And finally, Quan goes down without a GA. Peckinwolf in the chase with Piecake Lord, and there goes Shady. He starts dropping him below and driving him down to Tavy Jones' locker. A few more kills coming in left and right. A third now for Shady on the Pike as Piecake Lord tries to get himself to safety, but Peckinwolf is able to get the Orianna in the mix and dance around the fight just at the last moment. Pushed off, but able to come back in.
And that fight looked like it was going to be fantastic for TSM. Shady was popping off, but through all of that, the main carries of FlyQuest were not touched. It starts out with them going really hard onto Peckinwolf with that pullback, and a great engage onto him, followed up on very well. This forces the stopwatch out right away, but from here on, he's not going to get really focused down as he goes to the bottom right side of the fight eventually, as Piecake Lord redirects on the Meteos and pops the GA. Shady starts grabbing these resets, but Ares up on the top side getting some nice auto attacks off. Piecake Lord just can't kill him, and then up on the top side, it looks like they're about to kill Ares, but he gets the flash over the wall, starts getting some more auto attacks in, and Peckinwolf comes in for the cleanup, and out of nowhere, they actually win that fight, despite how well Shady have played it. And I think Mr.
Raleigh's coming in for Elder Drake.
Elder.
And they sneak it from under FlyQuest's nose after Peckinwolf just cleaned up that fight. Huge play by Raleigh's to save that. It would have been a double Ocean Elder on the side of FlyQuest.
Need to take another look at that one, as I think he actually just stole it. I saw Meteos was making his way down there, but was on Wolves. don't know how Mr. Raleigh's got that.
What an interesting play. Came up big, had that hit from the Spellbinder as well to come in with a little extra oomph. Possibly, as you see that building back up again as he makes his way around, but holy moly is what you got to say to that one. FlyQuest say, well, we got to keep the pressure on. They have a High Cake Lord on the bot side, and we are going to start to engage. Half health for Baron already. 40 minutes in, 14-13. What's the lead going to do for TSM as they start to fight? They got Baron. Meteos is going to stay on it, but FlyQuest is still able to drop members of TSM. Shady's too low to get back in. His no gets a huge shield to keep himself alive. Lamb's respite at the perfect time, but is it going to be enough? Shady goes down and Blaze Olive with the taunt gets in Quan, but it's not going to be enough. Meteos able to stay on the Baron is also to stay in the fight as a Blaze Olive and Pie Cake Lord try to get themselves back to safety. Pie Cake Lord walking this one in, actually teleport in, comes in at the right time. Safe fight for the team. So it was on the Elder Drake heel. We'll see the play one more time. Raleigh's in view the entire time. 400 down, instant tides of blood into a transfusion, and now we're on to Baron.
And that's a pretty huge part of this play because they have that extra 2 damage burn here.
Huge grab.
And they get Airy right away. Shady popping off yet again, but the equalizer is so good. Instantly melts both people to make this a 4v3, but Meteos is on the Baron, focuses that one down. Peckenwolf gets chased off on the top side. This time, Pie Cake Lord's able to finish him off. And a great Meteos ultimate to keep them alive. Stall this out, flashes out of the taunt, and No somehow stays alive through all of this. He actually gets Ocean Drake to start ticking, drops back up, gets about 200 extra health, which keeps him alive through that Q. If No took damage and it interrupted his double Ocean Drake from ticking, he absolutely dies there. This is one of those games where you break down these team fights and you just get to see how close this game really is.
As they're just pushing each other to the limit in these. The fact that FlyQuest was able to continue with Meteos on the Baron and control the rest of the fight is pretty immaculate at this point. And it shows that they want that playoff lock-in now, even with Raleigh's trying to come in with that steal. FlyQuest is still in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and this is the big difference from the last Baron that they got, was that there's no inhib down the bot lane, so Pie Cake Lord is forced to group up in the mid lane to stop a potential dive from coming through, because at this point, they do so much damage. No has his death cap completed, and you saw how he just melted Mr. Rawlins and Mike Young. If people don't get off that equalizer instantly, they will die.
Also starts burning a Blaze Olive as well. The madness just keeps ticking up. I think you need 10, not even 10 seconds in a fight.
5, I think.
Yeah, 5. I'm thinking of the number it ticks to. But yeah, 5 seconds from that fight and slow down the equalizer. Most likely be there. Huge hit coming in from the barrel. We'll see if they can get it down. A lot of low damage coming in from the side of Meteos and Quan. Noah's going to be coming out fast. The double kill coming in for Pike as Shady is having such an awesome game on the support. And a huge AoE battle, exactly what TSM wanted, to corral FlyQuest in to a nuclear fight.
And a 50-second death timer means that this is likely the game. TSM find their miracle fight outside their own inhibitors. The AoE damage from the GP puts everyone so low that the Kindred ultimate is forced out right away. Even though it stalls the fight out, they have no way to actually turn that one back around. And like you said, as soon as that Kindred ult drops, Shady times it perfectly to instantly get the double kill.
The first Baron was a false sense of security for FlyQuest. The second Baron puts him in the second tier turret for an even more sense of false security, and TSM take the victory, moving up towards their playoff spot.
And my God, Riv, that game was back and forth, and finally someone finds a decisive fight off the back of some great GP play, because Pie Cake Lord, he had a tough game, had a lot of focus down on that Rumble, was counterpicked, but he was really kind of the game winner for them with the split pushing and eventually the team fighting.
Absolutely. What a start to that one. Still back and forth for both teams. Like you said, a great game to see for a playoff spot.
Oh, yeah.
Because we can see at the end of the season, both teams want to keep going. It's not a we don't want to lose mentality where both aren't hungry for a win. They're hungry not to lose. But we saw teams hungry for a win today. And we'll jump right back to 42 minutes. That ace to win the game. So much confidence coming in from FlyQuest saying, oh, Baron after Baron, 5 in front of the inhibitor. Let's go.
And this is the danger of the GP. This one barrel combo hits 4 people, chunks them out, the ult on top. Mike Young goes in to start this fight. He's going to die right away, but it's done enough to force the Kindred ult. You see how many people are already low with full health Vladimir's, full health Galio's running in, and the well-timed Pike ultimate gets them that kill. Those ace clean 40+ minutes in the game, 50-second death timers, plenty of time to charge down the mid lane, end the game. And even though it did feel like FlyQuest had gotten some of the control back, they never got the gold lead back. And eventually, that felt like it was just too much for them to surmount.
And how can you forget the steal from Morales? Didn't come up big for the resulting fight, but overall, it stopped the pressure that mattered in the long run.
And it's not just that, you know, maybe that burn didn't get them a kill or two, but it did potentially stop the side of FlyQuest from getting some extra kills. And so this was just such a back and forth game. There's so many little things that ended up becoming huge over the course of it. Like we said in that one fight, the Ocean Drake ticking up. I mean, just an insane back and forth game that entire time.
Absolutely. Well, let's get a little bit more about it. To hear more about that victory, I'd like to welcome Blaze Olive to the broadcast via Skype. Man, great job in the mid lane. Congrats to the team. How'd it feel this game to win? It seemed pretty crazy all around.
Yeah, it was a pretty crazy feeling. It was very stressful in the beginning because our comp really doesn't do much. We're very ult reliant, but we knew that it was really hard for them to play team fights because they're so mobile against all of our dive. So we had to trust that eventually we'd get the team fight, and eventually we did. So that was really a good feeling.
So talk to me a little bit about the early game, because like you were saying, you're pretty ult reliant, and then they had a lot of pressure up in the top side, and it felt like you guys weren't finding any time to get those ultimates off and start picking people off. Were you at all concerned, or were you guys calm and like, we'll find our moment?
Yeah, I mean, we weren't like perfectly calm and collected, but we knew that we knew that what we had to do was use our ultimates to make plays. So no one was, you know, questioning what we were trying to do and why we weren't doing anything. We knew that, or we were like hoping that eventually we would see an opportunity that would, we thought would be good and we could look for. And so it was a little kind of strung along, but eventually we got it. So
it seems kind of to be a play style that obviously you guys feel comfortable with, but throughout Champion Select, was this kind of the idea? You always play well for late, so just let's pick late game?
Well, I think our comp is, we weren't really expecting, usually Aatrox and Nocturne are banned a lot on red side. So we kind of just assumed, like we obviously looked at drafts where we got both of them, but we kind of assumed that those would probably be bans, but we were ready to play them if the enemy team left them up. And FlyQuest decided that it would be that they thought we wouldn't be able to play the Nocturne comp. It's just something that we felt we had to do to prove that we could play the picks. I don't think it's something that we necessarily try to do every game, but if they give us a champ that we think is really strong, we're willing to play it.
Awesome, I like that.
So a little bit about more your season here, because I wonder what it's like on your team right now. It started pretty rough, falling pretty far down, but now you're making a great late season surge, potentially getting into the playoffs. What's the overall attitude and atmosphere like?
Yeah, things were pretty rough early on. We didn't start off and have the best start, but things are going a lot better now. But we have a really tough week coming up against us that we have to do really well in. So everyone is still really serious and knows that it's a tall task ahead of us to get into the playoffs. So we're all really focused and committed to trying to do our best.
How do you feel about those upcoming matches? Cloud9, probably going to be a tough one, and 100 Thieves. What are your thoughts kind of going in there?
Both of them are kind of special. Cloud9 because they're the first place team, but we saw today Golden Guardians really did very well against them, kind of surprisingly so. So that, it shows a chink in their armor. If you get an early lead, they didn't have a good chance to come back, it seemed, in that game. And 100 Thieves has Brandini on it, which he used to be on our team, so that's kind of a rivalry we've got going on. So both games are really exciting for me, but we'll take them both very seriously.
Well, you guys start off on the right foot in this last 3-game run. Best of luck, and congrats on the win again.
Thank you very much.
All right, so there's more league action coming.